I think the benefit of home ownership is that it's mine. I do with it what I please. If I want to turn up my music and listen to Maria Callas or Lil Wayne, I could do that. I don't have to have a landlord give me a call and tell me what I can and cannot do. If I want to rip up all the carpet and paint the walls bright yellow, I can do that. It's my house, and I think that that's the beauty of home ownership, is that you're not the whim of a landlord. My friend gave me this. A lot of my furniture is like garage sale finds and things that people gave me along the way, or in IKEA. Renting doesn't help you financially. You know, if you own something, you can resell it. It has a higher value, you can rent it out, and some people do get a tax benefit. Only my mother and I would pull weeds in our Sunday best dress. Black minorities who are African Americans who are descendants of slaves, we were cheated out of our land. So now when we have the opportunity to, you know, own something, we're still sort of being cheated in some ways because it's a hard system to navigate. You know, we lost out on our 40 acres and a mule, but why can't we, you know, get at least a half acre now? And you can do that affordably in Providence and in the surrounding areas where you can't do that in New York City and you can't do that in Boston. As a kid, I always went to lily white Catholic schools. But in Florida, at the end of the year, we would have a beach day. So we'd all get to go to the beach and swim and have a great time. And I remember my first grade teacher, who was first generation Irish, saying to me that I couldn't go in the water. And I remember thinking, but I wasn't bad, I did everything right, why can't I go swim like everybody else? And she said, no, it wasn't because you were bad, it was because she didn't want me to drown, because black people couldn't swim and our bones were heavier. And that was my first experience with racism, and she thought she was protecting me. You know, every time I show up somewhere now, as an adult, as a person with a terminal degree, the first thing people ask is, can I help you? Are you lost? Are you in the wrong place? You can't be, we're looking for Dr. Brayboy. You're not a physician, are you? And then they don't even ask, they assume that I'm someone else. When I parked in an area for physicians, my car almost got towed because the person who was on security detail that day assumed that I could not be a physician. And so, you know, and people will say, oh, it's because you look so young. But I also think it's because I'm also a minority. But I looked at approximately 40 houses, and I made an offer on the 40th house. It's been the best decision I could have made. My neighbors are fantastic people, and have embraced me as a neighbor. And my biggest concern was feeling like people are going to say, oh, there goes the neighborhood when I move in. Growing up, I always knew that I lived in one world and that I operated in another world, and that those two different worlds had two different codes to live by. So I always felt like when I'm in the mainstream world, that, you know, you act a certain way, you behave a certain way, and it'll somehow label you. And if you're at home, then you can behave a certain way and act a certain way. I think I've carried that with me, and I think that most people who are born in this, who are black and born in the U.S., they somehow learn to navigate both worlds. I think a lot of people who come here, who are born in other places, don't understand there's two different worlds. So, but this flag has all of our roots. It has the French roots, the Senegalese, the Malian, and the Spanish roots, which make the French Creole. The only time I'm not a minority is when I travel outside the U.S. to, you know, West Africa or to the Caribbean. It's a different feeling. You don't feel like you stick out.